Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today we're talking about support.com, going with the ticker now GREE, previously known as SPRT. Now in today's video we're going to go towards due diligence technical analysis and what we can anticipate in the next few days. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So support.com, these guys went with a reverse merger with Greenidge Generations. And basically, the company will still hold its operations as a part of Greenidge, but basically the bigger company now is Greenidge. So that is something to sum it down short. But in order to understand a little bit of their operations, we would need to go towards the presentation, which I will in a second. But currently, on the September 13th date, they announced the completion of their merger. So this basically puts in the company dissolved as SPRT and merged into GREE. Now, a lot of you have noticed one singular thing, is that the stock itself is currently trading at around $39.70. Meanwhile, the last trading days or last trading price on SPRT chart is around $11.80. So the question here is, what happened? Did we just jump up 4 times? Well, the answer is no. Basically, this kind of gives you a hint on the PR that they've shared, and they said that everything has been closed, yada yada. But in addition, pursuant to the terms of the merger agreements, the parties announcing the final exchange ratio for the exchange of shares pending the merger, subject to the terms and conditions of the merger agreement. At the effective term of the merger, each shares of support.com common stock issued and outstanding immediately prior effective will be cancelled and extinguished and automatically converted to receive 0.115 shares of Greenidge Class A common stock, plus cash in lieu of any financial shares of Greenidge Class A common stock resulting from such cancellation. So what does that mean? It means that if, let's say, you had around 1,000 shares from SPRT before this merger was completed, you should find in your account around 115 shares of GREE and any cash difference that would have basically resulted out of that conversion to make it accurate to 0.115. But if you have 1,000, it should be currently 115 shares of GREE. And I don't think there's any cash because that's a perfect ratio. And that means you went from around closer towards $10 to currently having around 115 shares at $39.70. Now, this is not continuously being updated because it's no longer part of the shares itself. The last update onto this one, as you get to see, was on the September 14th here on the top left corner. And this one here for this stock is currently on the September 17th. So the last 2 or 3 days are only available on the new ticker because the ticker has changed. So that kind of gives you an idea to what happened to the shares. A lot of people are looking at that and are continuously being confused by thinking, well, what exactly happened? It's all in the SEC filing and in the news as well. Now, on other things, yep, so it's all announced, the update of the merger, everything's gone through, CPRT is no longer, and now it's GREE. And so what is the exact ratio? It should be 0.115, and for that it's around 8.695 times. We want to confirm? Sure. Take that last trading day that is found on FinViz on September 14th. That is around 1180. And that 1180, if we take that 0.115 and we divide 1 by that number, you get that the stock should be on the same day trading 8.695 more than 1180 after this kind of conversion. And that gives you a calculation of around, I would say, 102.61. And if we were to take a look into that, 102.61 is the date on 14th of September. So if we take that again, so this is just again another summary, 102.61 divided by 8.695, which is the equation for 1 divided by 0.115, will give you 11.80, which is the last trading day or last trading price on September 14th for SPRT before the ticker switched up and the shares were basically converted. So I hope you understand basically the process for this and don't have any questions, but if you do, mention down in the comments below, and let's move on to the rest. But before doing so, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on for this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like to this video. I would really appreciate if you do so, and you can join me on my Discord, totally free, and we're not trying to upsell you on anything on there. Now, moving on towards the rest. So SEC filings, we don't have anything that we're not getting from the news. So that on its own is a good thing. But if we were to go ahead towards just the merger announcement here, just to give you an idea, if this is the first time ever you're hearing about this company, is that Greenidge Generations Holdings, basically they entered into this reverse merger that was going to close, and it did close, and Greenidge is expected to be the only vertically integrated US publicly listed Bitcoin mining operations, as it owns its power plant. So other companies like Marathon and Riot and all these ones don't really hold their own power plant. Now, they have also around 52 million of EBITDA in 2021 estimated, and a run rate EBITDA of around 162 million in 2022 estimated. The current hash rate of 1.1 EHs per second and 2022 estimated hash rate of 2.6 EHs per second. So basically, they are a Bitcoin mining company with their own power generation, and they're hoping to really continue their growth in general through some of the money that has been actually being announced, and they compare themselves to other companies like Riot, Marathon, Cypher, Hive, Hut 8, and Bitfarms, and they're really trying to show themselves as being a really competitive player with the cost of power being the lowest across all the board, as you get to see here. 22 compared to Marathon, where they have 28, and Cypher 27, which is considered one of the lowest, and almost half what you see at Hut 8 and Hive and Bitfarms of around 40 to 45. And their current EHs per second is actually in par with Riot and very close to Marathon, and multiples as well of Hive. And you're able to see they have captive power source, which others don't, and high efficiency, and it's listed currently on the Nasdaq market. So now moving on towards another thing. Before doing the technical analysis, it's the institutional buyers. Now on the institutional buyers, we see companies like Bloom Richard A, Radoff Bradley Lewis, and 210 Capital LLC, and others that currently have a bit of shares on there. Now, definitely Greenidge Holdings apparently is showing 100% ownership, which is understanding because it's a reverse merger, but it does seem that there is some kind of institutional or massive owners that are going into this one. Virtual Financials liquidated their entire position, but Bank of America have bought around 4,634 shares in the last couple of weeks. So all in all, this kind of list is a little bit not looking the prettiest. It's a bit messed up, but it will update soon. Currently, for the short shares availability, there's around 250,000 shares that are available for being short sold at a short borrow fee rate of around 94.85. Currently, it's one of the highest, and it shows that there is some demand for short selling. Currently, the total volumes for this one is apparently in the lower millions. In the last trading day was 1.2 million, with around 60% of that going towards the short selling side. Now, going on towards the technical analysis, what we get to see for Greenidge is that currently it did see a massive drop from around almost $60 to $39.25, and it continues to trade sideways into a spiraling downwards fall. Now, for this one, in the MACD, we're seeing that this one is attempting to go towards the negative side, and that's not really the best thing to take a look at. And in terms of the William percent R, or very similar to the relative strength index, this is sitting around neutral. So it's neither overbought or oversold. But if we were to go ahead with Fibonacci retracements, for instance, because high institutional buyers do use it, and high frequency traders, we're able to see for this one that we're sitting at a resistance of 49.28, 45.57, 48.23, 50.89, 54.67, and 59.49. Unfortunately, the support is only at 36.96 at this level. Currently, what we're seeing is that there is a massive support at 39.20, below there around 38.15, and below there around 37.03. The current resistance level is around $40, and then above there around 41.39, and then above there around 43.66, and then up to 46.97, 49.20, 49.83, and upwards to 5.23. Comes to the question, Ed, what do you think is going to happen soon? Well, it definitely has been spiraling downwards. It's a really painful thing to watch from what has been a massive jump to this stock where it's trading really at one of the lowest levels it's ever been. So there is definitely a level of confusion, and some people wanted to sell without even remembering how much money they put on before the conversion. Others are maybe insiders from Greenidge, but we don't have that kind of confirmation, or short sellers that seen this overnight go from around 1180 to almost 60 bucks and thinking, hey, we need to short sell this. But there's definitely a lot of a lot of selling activity, whether it's coming in from institutional sellers, panic sellers, or basically just short sellers. The levels are high, and you need to be very careful with this one. It's a really high risk at this level to hold, and the only reason for you to hold at this level is if you believe in this company. If you believe in this company, mention down in the comments below why, but I do think that it's a good company in comparison to Riot and Marathon, and it's bound to continue trading similar to them and jump up higher to higher levels than Marathon and Riot in general in terms of market capitalization. It only makes sense. But really, it's going to prove itself this year, and hopefully we're able to see good results. Again, if you're holding for the fundamentals, please do, but if you're holding for a short squeeze, it's very unlikely at this level. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.